And good morning. We are at the top of the Chuncheon cable car currently. This morning started off a little bit slow, but it's because it's raining, and it's going to be raining all day. And this was one of the few things that I wanted to do. It's kind of cool that I was inside like a cable car, and I'm underneath the top deck observatory currently. There's like no one else here, but Lynn and everybody are marching up the hill, and there's a little hike that you could do. I'll probably meet them in the cafe down below. I don't know if we're gonna go to the Hongcheon Skywalk next. That's actually just right around the corner from here, but it is actually quite wet and rainy and foggy. You could actually see the fog right there. You can't even see the mountain, it's so foggy. And the mountain's just maybe 20 feet after the fence, so yeah, we will see what's gonna happen, and then we'll check back in, because next is Sokcho with a quick pit stop at some service station, so we'll see. Alright, welcome back. We are at the Hongcheon Service Area. It is packed. Like, there are so many people here. It's crazy. It took us about 20 minutes to find a table. I will admit, it took us about 3 minutes to find parking, because when we came in, another guy was leaving, so we were able to just squeeze right in real quick. And the big thing is that all the food had a wait as well, and it's pretty crazy to see how much that wait was for all the food items. And then when we were waiting for the table, it was just like, where do we put all this food? Now, we didn't actually eat like a proper meal. We had just snacks, and it was a bunch of like hot dogs and tteokbokki and some different types of bread. So people are using the restroom right now. We're finishing up. We're gonna go ahead and head on into the car and then get back going onto the road onto our next destination. So the next place is lunch, I believe. Anyhow, we'll check back in a moment. Oh, yeah, we'll check back in a moment. Welcome back. Last I checked in, we were at the service area. We finished eating our food there and went to Sokcho from there. It took about another hour to get to Sokcho. Along the way, we were looking at our time. We were super off schedule, so to say. Because of that, we decided to go directly to the DMZ Museum, which is a museum that I wanted to go to last time but couldn't, because there was like a complication of how you needed like a certain tour guide in order to take you in because of COVID at that time. This time though, we were able to just drive on up. We actually drove all the way up to the barricade. There is a part right before the DMZ that they called the Civilian Controlled Zone, and once you arrive at that zone, you actually need to provide proof that you've gone through like a security clearance deal in order to enter the civilian zone and then go to the DMZ museum. Now, we drove right by the security checkpoint, which you would think it'd be impossible to pass, but there's a place called Unification Observatory Resource Center or Reservation Center, and you actually have to stop there first. The whole idea is that you go there, you're going to provide some of your personal information, you're going to write everything down, they're going to mark who you are, you need to mark everybody who's going, you need to mark what car you're coming in, and then you go through a small surcharge. I think it was like $5 for the check, and then $12 to get the ticket to go to the DMZ museum. And then after you finish that portion, you then proceed to the barricaded area, which it's full of, there was about 12 at least soldiers there, all fully armed and ready to go to war, so to say. And they were there to do the security checkpoint. You had to hand them all your papers. They looked at the ticket. They looked at all your security clearances. And then they pass you back your security clearance paper, another paper stating the rules of what you could do, which there's 5 main rules. Off the top of my head, if I could remember, it was don't stop aside from the DMZ museum. So from that barricade to the DMZ museum, you're not allowed to stop. You're not allowed to pick up anything. You're not allowed to dress in any type of military uniform, so no like cosplay or anything. It said even if you're active military, regardless of what nation, you're not allowed to be in uniform. And then there was a do not take photos of anything that is outside of a area which allows you to take photos. Yeah, any designated zones for photos. And so I actually didn't take this camera in. I just brought my phone in and I took a few photos, which I'll just throw up on the screen as I'm talking here. But the museum was amazing, and it was such a cool and unique experience to be able to do that. And this, I have to say, is in place of the guided tour that would take you to the DMZ zone, and then you get to go to the circle table where you walk around the table, and then you get to go to North Korea for a short while. That was actually fully booked during the times that we wanted to go, so unfortunately we're not going to be able to do that. This is really the next best thing, and it's not a bad thing. It's not like it's a worse second place. It's really awesome. They had so much history, so much to learn about just what was happening inside of Korea during the Korean War. It also shows what happened kind of afterwards and kind of what led up to the initial strike. And they also had this whole museum section of showing what kind of like nature has done to the DMZ, since there's only 2 cities inside the DMZ. There was a reunification effort where South and North Korea both built a city inside of the DMZ area. And I don't know about North Korea's version, but South Korea's version only had people that are from the area, that were originally from the area that was turned into the DMZ, that city zone. They live there. Other than that, I would say that one of my favorite parts was the propaganda area, where it showed all the propaganda leaflets that the South dropped on the North. They're really funny ones. A lot of like sexy girl type photos, and then a lot of like making fun of the leader type photos. What I found interesting was that, if I recall correctly, a lot of those didn't work as well as the South thought they would until they started doing more stuff about food. Again, that was an amazing time. We spent about 2 hours there, a little less than 2 hours, and on the way back we had to make kind of a tough choice because the DMZ museum is kind of an hour out of the way. It's about 45 minutes out of the way. So Sokcho is 45 minutes south of where the DMZ museum is. They're not actually in the same city because, like I said, the DMZ museum is inside of a civilian controlled area right before the actual DMZ. And so we drove back and decided to check in to our hotel and before going to dinner, which we were going to have crab. And so we came back, checked in, found parking downstairs, and let's do a quick room tour of this resort that we're staying in, the Risen Sokcho Resort. All right, and here we are in our room. We are located in 407. There is a doorbell, a do not disturb, and a makeup room button. And then it is a tap in. And this room is kind of like what you see in the old quarantine rooms. So quickly is the vestibule, a mirror, and we have a drawer with a shoe cleaner and a shoehorn. Goes right there. Fire hydrant. Close this bad boy. And then we have a washer, a stove, coffee maker. We bought that water. And then I'm about to drink some makgeolli, so we have our glasses ready. I just washed them. We have a sink. To our left, directly across from the kitchen, is the bathroom with a rain head shower, and it's pretty nice looking. Has all the amenities. Sink, toilet. There is a little bit of divider there, and so it might not get wet. I'm not gonna hold my breath though. We'll see what happens. And then plenty of towels behind that mirror right there, and then toilet paper on that side. As we come back out, We have more kitchen stuff. Again, like it's super quarantine ready, right? You have your microwave, water boiler, toaster, and then I don't know what this is. Oh, it's just a drawer. Okay. Then up here, it's just a cabinet for storage. This is the fridge, which I'm just going to open and close real quick because it actually smells like crab. But it is completely empty. We do have our 2 free bottles of water. Oh yeah, that crab smell. That's part of being in Sokcho, I guess. There's a bottom drawer. This one is, I believe, a freezer, but it doesn't smell as bad, which is why that could be a lot slower. We have our pull-out table. There's another drawer down there. And then here are our 2 single beds. Ben and Chris got upgraded to a single and a double bed, which is kind of cool. And then we have some cubbies for like our trash. We have our closet, which my rain jacket's hanging. I have no idea what that is. It's probably like some sort of emergency escape or something like that. I don't know. We could see if we could open it here in a second. But right here, we have a balcony. And little door. There's our AC unit. It is cold and rainy, so I'm not surprised that it's like this, but all we see is the main street right in front and our balcony. I was looking to see if we had a place to hang laundry, but no, it doesn't really look like that. There's probably some hidden thing that I'm unaware of where you could actually hang your laundry. Anyhow, close that up, see if this opens. Oh, just the water heater. Okay, so we have a water heater in there. And yeah, that's the room. Let's go ahead and get back to me finishing off the day. Alright, and one of the kind of cool things that we found out from checking in was that when we went to the front desk, the guy was like, "Oh, do you have a car?" It's like, "Yeah, we just parked downstairs." He's like, "Okay, you found parking?" It's like, "Yeah, why?" He's like, "Because we're totally booked out tonight. So if you didn't find parking, you're not going to find parking if you leave now." Which that threw a wrench into our plans because I wanted to bring everybody to get crab, which is a half an hour drive away from where we're at least the restaurant I wanted to go to. There was one that was a little bit closer down like a main street where the pavilion is that I was staying at last time, but I didn't know any of those restaurants. I brought everybody to Star Snow Crab, and it was something that I saw on one of the iZone videos, which, funny enough, they actually had a bunch of different like stars and K-pop groups come, and they've all signed photos and everything, and they were all on the walls. And then on the floor that we were sitting on, they actually had the variety show that I was watching playing in the background, showing that they went there. And dinner was, in my opinion, fantastic. Everybody else just found it to be okay. It wasn't bad, it just wasn't amazing, I think was kind of the consensus that everybody else had. It's my second crab meal here in Sokcho, so I mean, I think that kind of explains that I'm down to go back again. It was somewhat pricey for the 4 of us. It is 77,500 won per person. But the amount of food that we got and the fact that it included dessert, and it included fruit, it included fried rice, and it included sashimi, there is a lot that is on the table, and we don't even know everything that we ate. There was like, Ben thought it was sea cucumber. We don't know, but it was very brackish. I thought it was okay. Both Lynn and Chris did not like it at all. It was just some very unique items that we've never eaten before, and we just ate it. And I mean, we tasted everything, and we enjoyed. I mean, it also included ramen, which was crazy, like crab ramen. So we got one really large king crab and one really large snow crab. And the king crab was 120,000 won per kilo, and the snow crab was 110,000 per kilo. And so altogether, I believe, I mean, you do the math, it comes out to a little over 300,000 won. And so it was quite amazing. And the way we got there was by taking the bus. Now, Ben noted, hey, it looks like the bus stops at 9 o'clock. We were there at 8:30. And so it was like, how are we going to get back? Well, I was like, we'll figure it out later. Maybe there's the last bus that we could catch. We went in, had dinner, took about an hour. They closed at 9:30, so, and they let us know at about 9 o'clock. It's like, hey, we're closing soon, so if there's anything else that you want, just go ahead and be prepared. And the last thing we ordered was a Chuncheon cider and a Coke. And then we just had that with our meal. And once everything was said and done, we went back to the bus stop, looked. Another reason why I guess I don't really like Naver Maps is that I set in the hotel. Naver Maps said, yeah, go ahead and wait for the bus. It should be here soon. Lynn or Ben checked Google Maps and he's like, no, man, it says that it's going to be here tomorrow morning. And so I went to a convenience store that was right across the street from us, went in and asked, hey, are there any more buses coming for the day? And he said, no, I think that was it. They're done for the night. So I was like, oh, how am I going to get a taxi? And he's like, stand on the restaurant street. It's probably easier. So I went and got the group back because everybody was just waiting at the bus station. Obviously, that's what you'd want, right? If the bus arrived, everybody was already there. I could just run over. But since there were no more buses, I had everybody come to that convenience store. We walked back over to the restaurant that we ate at. They were literally locking up the door and getting ready to leave when I was like, hey, can we get a cab? Can you call us a taxi? And the gentleman helped us out. He called us a cab and we waited while they were like finishing locking up the doors. They all were like commuting together. They're all carpooling. So they hopped into their van. The dude just stood with us and he was waiting for the taxi to come. As soon as the taxi came, I grabbed a hotel business card to, just in case. I guess pro tip, right? When you're traveling and you don't know if you're going to need a cab or not, when you check in, grab one of their business cards, which is what I did. And I asked him if he could get us a cab to that location. He was holding on to the card. As soon as the cab pulled up, he went over to the taxi driver, explained our situation, explained what was going on, and we all hopped into the cab, and about a half an hour later we were back here at the hotel. And that pretty much finishes up our night. Oh, and it only costs like 7,800 won. If I said yen at any time in this video, I meant to say won. We're in Korea, of course we'd be paying in won. But yeah, we're all a little bit tired now. There is a bottle of makgeolli that I was talking about earlier that I'm gonna go ahead and kill off here. But other than that, the night is done. And so I will go ahead and close it out here. So have a good night and we'll see you in the next video.